of our peeps? It's real and raw. I am Lynn, and you are?
I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Uh,
Welcome, Brian Kelm, the one and only.
well, that is actually not true.
Oh, you're not the only Brian Kelm?
I'm not the only Brian Kelm.
Oh, well, that's good to clarify that because,
that's the reason why I say it is because when it comes to reserving domain names, you find out very quickly if your name is the only one. So I will not be getting briankelm.com anytime soon because it's a lawyer out of Utah.
Oh, yeah.
But
I should.
However, though, I could probably say that I'm the only one that is colorful as me and as goofy as me.
Yeah. Well, I should have even realized that when I put you in the back of my author's information. Podcast with Brian Kelm. Which Brian Kelm? Dun,
yeah,
dun,
exactly.
Dun.
Oh, the lawyer. Oh, she's prestigious. This other Brian Kelm. Hopefully, it's not this guy. No.
Yeah.
What's up, Larry?
I should have Googled you before I brought you on my book. No,
yeah, it's just you're like, okay, Google search. Are my book sales going to go down as a result of this guy?
Dun, dun, dun. Hi, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
Look at that. My 2 people I get to see in less than 2 weeks.
Isn't that crazy that they're both previous guests on our show and they both live in your area or the area you're going to?
I know. I'm super, super excited. Right now, it still looks like I should be there by actually 2 weeks from today. I should be there.
Oh, my goodness.
The 3rd. Hopefully. And Scott Ricard.
Mr.
Scott in Florida. I swear I should maybe make some time and see if I see you from
Scott. As a matter of fact, we have another person on our show tomorrow from Florida.
Yes, Scott. Yes, another Scott. So this is awesome.
But there is only one Mr. Liplock.
Yes. Yeah. And what did Charles Coachman say yesterday? He called me Lady Liplock.
Yeah, hey, we got to put that down. Hey, we need a few more words. So here's a little game let's play today. My improv mind is working. Here's a little game. Like, we need some more words or phrases for our special guest tomorrow, Mr. Liplock. So as the show goes on, if you want to put some words in there that might be worthy of that for us to talk about tomorrow, that'd be great because we need some more words for tomorrow. So Lady Liplock is going down.
We're going to finish up something we didn't talk about yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday was day 3, so we're going to talk about a little bit about intimate.
Yep. Intimate love.
Maybe intimate apparel. I don't know. No, intimate whatever.
Love.
Intimate love. Okay.
We're not going to the department store or the naughty store. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to talk about that quickly. I'm sure we could get some words in that topic for some reason.
Why do we got to put fuel in the fire? Just let it happen organically.
Well, it's better than wet wood or nasty wood. No nasty.
How about infectious wood?
Yeah. That would kill. That would kill love for sure.
It might permanently cause problems. You might have to go get some ointment or some medication for that. Well, this intimate love may not be a good conversation.
No. Brian, I don't know what kind of intimate love you think about, but that's not what I think about.
I'm just harmonizing with the conversation right now. Okay. Whatever it takes for a laugh, right? I mean, by the end of the show, my plan was to echo the color of your shirt by what your face looks like. So that's what we're striving for in this interaction.
Yeah, I see that.
So everybody, if Lynn is wearing red tomorrow, we'll know why, because it's like her face is going to blend in besides her hair.
Tomorrow I'm going to wear my Tommy Hilfiger, and he's going to help me, camouflage the redness. Yes, I'm going to have a red shirt on tomorrow.
And no, it's not going to be the lighting. Trust me.
Which Brian and I were having a discussion on how his lighting over there makes his head look red. And so I'm going to have to bust that myth when I see him. So
we actually did an experiment yesterday where it's all LED, I've got cool white and cool and warm white, and everything is white, right? I went with a green screen on, I went with it off. And no matter what I did, I changed the intensity. From the Kelvin scale from 3,200 all the way up to 5,600. Made no difference. My hair looks like I'm ginger, as Julie would say, but I'm not. I'm a dirty blonde.
So I'm gonna go over there and I'm actually gonna like take pictures, look at his hair, and say, I will confirm that. Look at it. Looks like it's red. It looks
I don't have red hair, so sorry to demystify anybody that would prefer me being a ginger, but I'm not one. Sorry.
If you guys think his hair looks like he's got red tint to it, put a 1. If not, just put a 2. So yeah, just let us know. But we kept talking about your hair looks ginger. Why do you think people say, oh, it's the red head syndrome or something? And we're like, no.
Well, there's a new pickup line. I mean, I'm with somebody that I really care about and love. But that's a pickup line. Hey, what do you think about redheads?
Yeah, you see, Tammy says it looks like red on the video.
Well, I don't know how any different because we tried it out and it still looked the same.
Yeah.
It's just that there's less red because I got my haircut. But
yeah,
moving on. Yeah.
Anyways, so as far as the intimate,
as my butt, I'll say one
butt as your butt, okay.
As my buddy from Southern Illinois would say, everybody shows their love in a different way. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You see, Larry says it's hair.
It's hair.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. It's hair.
I mean, coming from the man that actually started putting, we had to. Lynn cropped in a picture of him in a biohazardous suit when he.
Hey, go ahead and put the word "it's there." It's hair.
Yeah, it's there.
No, write that down for tomorrow. It's there. It's hair.
Oh my God. We're going to be like, can you give me anything else to tell me a little bit more about this? It's there.
It's there. Hair. It's hair.
And the inflection has to be there, otherwise it will not land for Scott. That's
for sure. For sure.
It's there. It's hair. That sounds like some kind of feminine product advertisement. It's
okay.
There.
Can that be part of our intimate talk before we move on to today's topic?
Sure. I want to see how you segue into this one. Okay, it's there. It's
hair. It's hair. It's never mind.
Right, go ahead, segue. It's there.
I was gonna say it's there. It's hair. It's hair is everywhere.
Oh my God. Are we talking Austin Powers here? Is that what parallel? Where it's
shag it, baby, Mojo, whatever you want to call it. Mojo, Flow. Flow might interrupt the intimacy.
I don't even want to know what kind of flow you're talking about. Sorry, all of that hair is getting in the way from us doing said thing. Ryan, you look so good with your ears, Lord. Oh yeah, Tracy.
Oh yeah.
That was a callback from one. And I shared it with my girlfriend, and she's like, "What's that one thing that your dad used to say when you were growing up?" I'm like, "Whenever you referred to getting a haircut, you're getting your ears lowered." And then when I shared that with her, she's like, "You could see the wheels turning." She goes, "That makes no sense." Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we can see your ears. That's for sure.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
At least my stylist didn't cut off my ears. So
yeah. And by the way, I might have some chaos as far as either dogs or a doorbell or things going on in the background here. I'll try to keep it as quiet as possible, but that just letting you know. Yeah. And meanwhile, the dog cues in on cues, barks in the background.
Well, at least he doesn't leave you little gifts on the floor.
Yeah, thank God. No, they're outside, but they can still be, loud out there. So.
Okay, so it's there. It's hair. Lynn, go.
It's everywhere.
We're not talking about infectious love, okay? Moving on.
No, so intimate love. I mean, I don't even know if you know about tantric. I mean, tantric is it's with the mind. Tantric love is not actually sexually doing anything. It's energy wise and just the energy flows is just amazing. It can be a very orgasmic thing that can happen between two people without actually being so intimate. And that's part of chemistry and part of being intimate is knowing that you love so unconditionally and just so deep, and just, uniting as one and all that fun stuff. But you can be so intimate with somebody and have the distance. It's just once you have that special connection, it doesn't matter whether it's video or talk or whatever. It's just something beyond the physical touch.
Right.
So I did my part. I'm done.
No, we're not. No, come on. We got to overcome that, because whenever it gets a little uncomfortable, then you want to like talk for 3 seconds and move on. No.
Yeah, well.
Because because it's like you stir up something and then you want to completely remove it.
Yeah. I did that for 15 years in my parties, and people would always get a kick out of it. I would blush,
but
I would hide, but that's just the way I am.
Is that the minute that we walk away with something that might be a little
risque,
all of a sudden then it's like, no, I don't want to talk about that. But then you bring it back, so it's like, which one is it here?
I don't know. Anyways.
Come on, I know you got more.
I got more, but I mean, I was just letting you, have your turn.
Well, to go out to Steve, thank you, Steve, for mentioning this. So we ran short on time, and we wanted to talk about it. So to be in integrity with talking about something is that I think, and thank you for the mention yesterday in the comment about that intimate doesn't have to be sexual. Now, I know depending on who you are and how you relate to those words, what they mean for you is going to be different things. But for me, it's like when I think of intimate, Lynn has a certain point of view. We all have a certain point of view, and they're all allowed. That's what makes us all great and different. But for me, when I think of intimate, I mean, it could be just holding somebody tight, or taking somebody out for a nice dinner that you really care about, or just having conversations where it's just to be present with each other. Intimacy, I think, is the legs. It's the foundation on which everything else stands on, right? If you're with somebody, where I was talking to my hairstylist yesterday, and I just saw this glowing look on her face. And I've only had my hair cut by her a couple times, but I'm like, wow, you look like you're glowing today. And she's like, and I'm like, what brought that on? And she goes, it was that boy that was just in here. And number one, she said boy, and I'm like, okay, he's older than I am, right? But it's like just the look on her face that I've never seen. And it's like, it's none of my business. Right. But it's like, I'm like, wow, I've never seen you that way. And she goes, yeah, when we talk, it's like he's connecting to me, and we can talk for hours. And I'm like, well, how long has that been? And she goes, a couple months. And I'm like, man, I'm so happy for you. Right.
She dating him or no?
I didn't get that far because it's none of my business.
Oh, come on. No, at a stylist place, you can ask your stylist in personal questions that she can ask you. It's kind of like, I know that from my daughter and whatnot. That's just how that goes. It's that personable kind of thing. So don't feel like you're being nosy. Your stylist loves when you ask them about themselves as well.
I didn't want to bring it in because I knew at one moment in time when we met, she has 2 kids and she was married. So,
oh, okay.
I don't feel it's my place to be like, hey, and I wanted to ask her, I'm like, what about your husband?
Yeah, but
I don't want to remove her moment.
Gotcha.
But I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you married?
Yeah. And maybe she's not by no more. So you never know. At least 2 months ago, maybe she wasn't.
None of my business. I'm just there to get a haircut, not deal with, potential Judge Judy.
Not only that, you don't want her to take you leave there, you got to patch a hole because she cut it. She asked her that question. She went,
oh, heck yeah. Like she's got the twitchy hand, like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit. I'm bleeding profusely.
How dare you ask me that question?
Okay, note to self: don't ever bring up personal matters when she's really getting down to the nitty gritty at the end of my haircut.
Especially your ears. Oops.
Why do you got that gauze in your ear? Yeah, I was getting a haircut. Really?
Well, you just came to Sally's clips. What do you expect?
Hey, Joe, are you up next for a haircut? Don't talk about her personal life. It's bad. She might do a little twitchy finger and you.
Oh my god.
You're bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
It's like you went in for a standard procedure and they screwed it up at the hospital. Like I went in for a Band-Aid and they gave me a whole nother set of Band-Aids.
Yeah, I went in for my toenail and
they
they
took
nailed
out
something else.
a couple teeth. Well, that worked.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I think that we can move on, but and we only can speak to our own individual view of things. So, a piece to check in on, and I like what Steve did yesterday. So shout out to Steve for not only being loyal to our show and being here all the time, and the rest of all of you, because you're loyal to us and anybody catching the replay. But it's like that intimacy is what you make of it. Right. And I think that that's also a part of the cool journey, is that you get to define what it is with your partner, not only for you, but with your partner.
Right.
And then every time that if you might be with somebody, you're able to take what you learned in previous and apply it to what it looks like in the future.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because like I'm kind of a flirt, if you haven't figured that one out. Ha ha. But it's, I had
no idea that was your behavior.
But what's great is that when you have great chemistry with somebody, or you care about somebody, and you just, just flirting and having a good time and giving people, kudos for different things and just loving freely. It's so much fun. It's just, because you're sitting there just like we were saying about your hair, and, and being cutesy about that and laughing and having so much fun with that. I mean, the bottom line is you're not talking negative about anybody. You're not hurting anybody. And you're just, laughter is so good for the soul that it's good to just, live in the moment and have those memories and be a goof and that kind of stuff. So, saying I love you should feel just as good as when you say it. Correct. I mean, it should be creating, we were creating just like, hey, wait till we get together and I'll check out your hair and I'll have verification and blah, blah, blah. It's just whatever. Everything's possible if you realize it is possible, if you believe it,
Lynn's going to embarrass me when we meet up.
It's going to be so much fun.
She's going to be like, see, I have evidence. I got some hair follicles. His hair's not red.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know what to do we're going to have to, who we need to talk to is JR. He's a lighting guy. We're going to have him on the show, and we're going to have to discuss this lighting thing. Matter of fact, we might have to have him on a Friday when I'm with you and say, so how are we going to fix this lighting to get this guy's hair
make Brian's hair not look red?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to do this, and it's just, why don't you move in with me? No.
Well, he's so professional lighting guy. He's actually one of the guys that started the school pictures, back in the day. So wow. So he's very good about.
So there we go. Whatever our backlog of people is that are generous enough to be with us on Fridays, JR, we got to add him to our.
Absolutely. Yeah. And next week we have Tim Gillette.
I don't know anything about Tim, so it'd be nice to get to know
him. It'll be very nice. So
the red hair looks good.
You see, Scott, the make pretend red ginger.
Lynn, how much did you pay Scott to say that right there?
I don't know, but Scott, I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Yeah, I knew that I knew you paid it to make me feel good.
So. Yeah, exactly. So
day number 4, let's get into it.
Yes, saying I love you. And I know that, I started the show with, we love our peeps.
Yeah.
We love our peeps.
100%.
So.
I think, and again, I was talking to my girlfriend this morning, is that the phrase that she was telling me about, that she told me initially about that was conceptual, was, give people grace. Mm-hmm. And that's really working on me. I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I know I can feel that it's working on me in ways that are still yet to be defined.
And that's going out of your comfort zone, but it's going to make you feel so much better because like you said, if you have that's one of the points I try to make, is if you keep consistent with treating everyone equal and loving everyone. We love you too, Tammy. Thank you. If you still say, you know what, I love you and I love you and I love you, and you're not picking between children or friends, it really makes you feel good, because you're not showing favoritism to just one person. Right. You're showing it across the board. And that makes you realize that, well, I'm just going to, give grace, and I'm going to let go, and I'm just going to go. And it's just going to make you feel better, because at the end of the day, you say, you know what? I gave grace and kindness to everybody, and I could feel good about that today.
Well, and you don't have to sit there and assess and
Yeah.
wonder how you're going to appear to other people. All of that, maybe in the moment doesn't seem like a big deal, but by the end of the day, you feel off.
Right.
And I think I came to the source of that is because you're not being authentic to yourself.
Right. And
When
you
you have
shouldn't.
to start picking and choosing how you relate to different people,
Well,
it becomes very difficult.
Well, not only that, it goes to show you that you're still in your emotions and not of the right mind to
Yep.
treat everyone equal. And then that's where you're segregating and not being in alignment with your whole body, because you're like, oh, I'm walking just fine. And you see one person and you do the Elaine dance and stuff and go all freaky. And it's like, then you have other people that never seen you be so rigid or so cruel.
Yep.
Wonder, wait, I never knew they had that side. And it might rub the wrong people the wrong way. And then they'll see, you know what I mean? So it's, you don't want that wrong perception when,
well, and let's be honest, it's like, in my particular context, it was about competing against, like, that other person, right? Like, it's like, I don't agree with that person. Okay, why? It's like, do I feel that my view is better, worse, whatever? It's like, let's look at the source of that.
Right.
And I'd be willing to say it's probably a short list of items when it comes to another colleague or somebody that you feel that could be serving their customers better. If you remove competition or competing, like an assessment of me versus them, if you remove that, there's very few. If you remove the competitive angle from it, that's got to be a major contributor of that self-limiting belief.
Not only that, it's none of your business how anybody else does. It's your business to worry about you and what you do. Correct. So that you stand out to be the best you can be. Correct. Where everybody else might be vanilla or ordinary. Yep. You waterize. You waterize.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding. We got
you
another
waterize who you are. Don't waterize who you are. Don't water down who you are. I get these thoughts that blend together.
Way to save the statement, Lynn, by actually putting it into a phrase.
No, but that's what I mean. It's like, you don't want to water down who you are by taking time and energy from who you are and what you're doing to look what everybody else is doing. Correct. You don't want to waterize yourself.
It's pretty close to what I actually put down. Yeah.
No, wetwood, waterize. What the heck? I'm a fire sign. I like water.
We don't want any waterwood.
Yeah, no waterwood today.
Wet water.
Wawa.
Hey, Wawa, isn't that like a convenience store chain out there?
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
I thought they are in Jersey too, like Jersey and New York too.
They might be. I don't know about it being in New York, but it's funny. My dad said they're going to open a Wawa. I'm like, Dad, speak English. No, it's Wawa. I'm like, Dad, you're saying that really good.
Just that. No, it's a convenience store. They got really good hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh man. So anyhow,
don't waterize who you are.
Yeah, don't waterize who you are, because when you do that, then you blend in with the ripples, and then you don't stand out as being the one that's, takes the prize. So
correct.
Be yourself, and people come on. I was talking to Cheryl Eisenhower today, and we were talking about how, let's face it, like, I knew for years that I'd be a speaker. And I mean, I spoke for 15 years in front of lots of people. So I'm a speaker, but I've never actually wanted to do Toastmasters or this or that, because the whisper's been is like, Lynn, if you start like realizing a lot of the different structures, you're going to lose who you are. And so now that I know who I am as a speaker, now I can go and get the tips that I do need. Like I used to stand and move around a lot, and I used to fidget a lot. So it's a matter of knowing when you're stable to who you are to learn more, without getting other habits, but maybe compare and see what else you want to add to your thing. So I said to her, you look at how much reality TV has taken over regular shows, because people like that no conformity there. People like people just being off the cuff, being who they are, and not knowing what to expect. Like people expect me to say weird things or come up with my own vocabulary or be goofy or whatever.
Lynnisms? Would that
Yeah.
apply?
Yeah. So, which by the way, sometime I'm going to get transcripts and I'm going to make a book of all the Lynnism in a book.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, it's just, it's the fun things like that we should, everybody out there that wants to have a podcast, anyone that wants to have a podcast, come and see me. I would love to get you started and help you have your own show, because it just, we all have value we can give each other and supporting each other. And it's fun to see real people doing real shows as opposed to not. So,
well,
Tammy's got to run. You have an amazing day, sister. I love you.
Here, Tammy.
I talk to you later.
Don't wait, because I can speak from personal experience, Lynn, and it might be a little bit, but remember how I told you about another show I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent you graphics. It didn't go anywhere, but it's like,
what?
The biggest person we're ever going to have to deal with to overcome is ourselves.
Yeah.
And the world, I mean, depending on your discipline or what you're into, I mean, the world is dying for, in my opinion, the world is dying for authentic
originality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you can do it consistently, and here's the thing is that when you can get to what you do down to a link where it's like, hey, if you take all of your shows or whatever that can help somebody, and you can send them a link. I mean, obviously you don't want them to watch the whole show, but if you can hone in on it where it's like, okay, at this time, watch this and this will give you, it's like, it's something you already did, but you can repurpose it to other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you do it in live format. So, even like some of the mentors, like when this whole live streaming thing happened, right? And it started to be the thing, right? Is that you're working on your skills at the same time that you're doing something.
Right.
So we're presenting the show to everybody, but we're also honing our skills at the same time. And how priceless is that going to be, where we don't know how far that's going to take us?
And not only that, we just love the interaction of our guests, because even if we're talking and they say something, we are not afraid to have you be part of the show and talk to us about it. We just love that. I mean, it's unpredictable. It's unfiltered. I mean, that's what we love. And that's what we're loving about doing the show and loving our people. I mean, like I said, when we first started out, Brian, we had 4 mutual friends. I think we're up to like 60 or something. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how cool it is that they're connected to both of us.
Copying each other's friends.
Yeah. But that's what we love is, I mean, Brian's different. I'm different. And yet no matter what, we respect each other and we'll listen to each other's viewpoint. And that's what we are showing with the world. People can be friends and not have to be like, Siamese twins or this or that, and still have a healthy conversation.
Well, and how it pertains to the world is that by holding back in life, to bring into this conversation that we've been talking about love the whole week, the more you hold back, the more you're being a disservice to yourself and whoever that other person is.
Absolutely.
Are people going to, one of my mentors, him as well, he does some training about storytelling and whatnot, is that when I talk to him about, and I'm not far along as Lynn, because I have one project in front of completing my first book. I have one project in front of it, is that because I'm not going to dabble in 2 things at once. I'm not going to do it. And what he said is, he goes, Brian, you're never going to be able to control how people think about what you write.
Right.
But you're never going to be able to. So why would that hold you back?
Yeah. Well, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be transparent. I couldn't dare to go read my book after I had 2 friends proofread it. And I should have, but I mean, I was emotionally shut down. Like it's just where I was. But the thing was, but I also gave myself permission to say, Lynn, when you're ready to reread it after it's published, whatever. You were in that moment then, and I captured what it meant to me, and how, very concise, very short little stories, and it wasn't very elaborated or whatever. But again, it was the way I wanted to do it. And that's how it should be, is however you want to do anything, you do it, you fall through, and you don't let those negative things. You just love the fact that you kept your word to yourself. You did what you had to do. And it's a gamut of feelings that go through. And so it's not an easy task. It's no wonder a lot of people don't want to write books or haven't written books. But then I see how a bunch of people can start writing books once they do, because you give yourself permission to go from here to go up, as opposed to not doing nothing at all. So You know, it's just an experience even with life. I mean, we never know what anybody's feeling or exact thing, but when you go through something, you know, you felt something, so you can never imagine what somebody else is feeling.
Well, and you're throughout the past 11 years, you know, since my dad passed away and I went through my car accident, is a point of view is something that you have to be rock solid in. You have to define and know that you're if you don't believe in your own voice, nobody else will. And your point of view is unique, but you have to covet it. You have to covet it in such a way that nobody's going to trump all over it or stamp on it, or that you don't have a say in the matter. When if you're going to put a body of work out there, whatever it is, that you're okay with people not agreeing it, but it doesn't make your point of view any less. Yeah. Other people's opinions don't wash down what you value and what you're putting out there. You know, now granted, some people might say, like, I bought this book and I was let down, or it didn't give me what I wanted. It's like, okay. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't serve a purpose.
Exactly.
You know?
Hi, Charles.
Mr. San Jose, green tea drinking Mr. San Jose.
Well, you know, it's just like with my book, my purpose of it was, one, to leave some stories for my daughters. So that's mission accomplished. Two was to show that I did put myself under pressure and I wanted to deliver something, but I wanted to see how I was going to be under pressure for myself and also for anybody else that feels like they can't do it. If I did it imperfectly, they can too. So that there's no, but I can't do it. Oh, and Lynn said she couldn't do it because she couldn't get an editor at enough time, this or this. It doesn't matter. If you want a project or something done, you can have it done. Correct. Don't let the excuses come and bite you in the ass. So I'm just saying it serves a lot of different purposes. And so I'm just grateful to say that I can live with those purposes, not excuses, but purposes, that I can use that as a teaching tool for the people that come forward, that I can inspire to just stay, you know, focus on the end result and reverse engineer what you need to get done and what you need to learn. So I have so many different purposes for that book that just aren't about the book, you know, so it's really cool.
And I think that when we talk about, when you say I love you freely, or ways to do that, is you have to give up that there is one way, or that you need a strategy.
Right. It's just doing. It's just being. It's being in the moment and create where you're going to go from there. You know, like you said, if I'm going to go from Montana to Florida, there's many ways to get there. But first, I got to get in the car and go. Right.
Yeah. You gotta freaking be awake, and you got to put gas in the car.
Like, yeah. So
you got to be ready to be like, okay. You know, I mean, you might have some kind of roadmap like these days, or you know, out what you're going to spend where, but you know, I think we are the ones that get in our way by how we look at things.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, it's like, okay, on this day, I'm going to go see my dad and I'm going to spend this amount of time, because that is what you're going out there for.
Right.
Now, are you going to see other people on your path? Yes. Are you going to spend time with them? Yes. Are you open to whatever comes along? Yes.
Yeah.
But the main intention is you go back to see your dad.
Oh, absolutely.
That is the overarching reason why you're doing the maintenance to your car, you know, everything.
Absolutely.
Is that.
Yep. And like I said, I started 2 weeks ago on the process of getting my car organized and this and that, you know, and bumps in the road. And, you know, I did get my license plates in the mail. So it's like, yay. Yes, I did. Plates? Yes, I did. They're really, really cool. And my daughter even likes them. She might even get the same kind. They've got over 130 plates you can pick from for Montana.
Really?
Yeah, Scott Ricard. I'm going from Montana to Florida up the coast. I'm going to go to South Carolina and stop see friends. I'm going to stop and see Jerry and Cheryl and JR. And I think I'll see Jen Gittimore too. I mean, there's just a few people there. And then I'm going to go up to New York, and then New York back to Wisconsin. And then I'm going to come back.
I get the leftover Lynn after she's exhausted and can't wait to get home. Great. That sounds awesome.
I know. They'll see a picture of me come over your house and be on your couch and go, this is her. This is it.
Just be like, really? Really?
Yeah, really.
all Lynn talks about, I just want to get home.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway.
You could have had a cheese curd craving before.
I know, right? Well, I'll see you in August. That's for sure. It will be in August. So yeah. Oh, there's the dogs going. Wow, that's a long drive. Yes, it is.
Yeah. They have a license plate for every 10 people.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good math, Charles. Well done.
Well, let me see. We have about 115,000 till the Californians came in, so I don't know what our count is now.
So like, are we talking like, like there's a buffalo imprint on one, and then there's
Yes.
a bison, and then there's
Yes. No joke. Elk, moose. Yes. Yes, for sure.
What did you get?
I got a moon and some other stuff. I think I took a picture of them. Well, you know what? It's here. Let me see.
Lynn got custom plates and she filed them in April, but obviously with the shutdown of the world and then with the Department of Corrections limiting their production of license plates, it caused a little hurdle to overcome to get her license plates.
Yeah. So it's customized license plate, and it's like LLLOL. Live, love, laugh out loud.
She's taking her branding on the road.
Absolutely. It's better than you see in Montana here. If you get their regular plate that they have the county number where you live. Oh. So like Billings is number 3. So you'd be number 3, and they're like, wherever you drive, oh, you're from Billings. Yeah. And I'm like, hell no, but you got a personalized license plate. You don't know where from Montana that you live.
So you're not being alienated by your hood.
Yeah. But
you're from 3, I'm from 4.
Mine is a love your neighbor kind of thing, and it says the best last place or something like that. So, and I'm thinking, shit, I shouldn't have put that there. We'll get more people moving to Montana.
Well, if that's any explanation of them coming from California, from the worst to the best or whatever. Can you imagine somebody from California going to, Montana and like, what's that? What's that? Oh, that's a bobcat.
Yeah. We have bobcats. Absolutely. And we got bobcat plates. We got grizzly plates. Wow. We got all sorts of kinds of plates for damn sure. It's tons. Wow. So you're going to have to talk because this is the chaos. People are coming in and out for the vehicle. So you're up.
No problem. Yeah. So, I mean, I love you freely. It's just letting go. It's just being real with yourself. If you're in touch with your gut and your heart and all of that, don't hold back. When you start holding back is when your brain starts taking on, like, just these moments where you're not doing what your heart's telling you to do. And can you explain them? Maybe not, but when you love freely, it becomes second nature. Is that you just do it. You just feel better as a result of it. And then it keeps your day going regardless of what your day looked like. And if you can make a difference for somebody, it's not like it takes away from your day, it enhances to it. Like if you're in the grocery store and somebody needs help with something, or, I'm pretty tall, I'm 6'3", it's like if somebody asked me hey, can you get me down a case of soda or something? It's like, hey, we're all here to pay it forward for everybody. And so why would you not want to do that to not create a ripple in your day? To have it just be seamless and to know that, hey, I helped somebody out today, and then they're going to do it for somebody else or maybe not, but at least I know I did my part. And so creating those opportunities is always fun because that they're always available if you're in the mindset to think like, hey, how am I going to figure out this problem? There's nothing wrong with me, but I'm just lacking an idea. I need an idea. The opportunity I need right now is an idea to pop up. And it's as simple as that. But you have to be in the mindset. If we're not in the mindset, we're going to overlook everything.
I want to say hi to Tim real quick. He'll be on our show next Friday, and we want to thank you, Tim, for that.
Yep.
We look forward to spending some time with you. You're a pretty awesome guy. So
yeah, Tim, thanks for volunteering for our show. I look forward to getting to know you better. I've seen your name pop up a few times, but it'll be great to get to know you a lot better and have you be embarrassed with us on our show.
Yes. No, I agree with everything you're saying there, Brian. It really is nice to know that just getting in the habit to say, regardless of who I've been upset with, regardless of whatever, that was yesterday. Everyone is a chance, like you said, to have grace and to just love everybody all day long. And it really takes for you to have that shift within yourself.
Yep.
To have somebody else say, shit, Brian didn't hold that against me from last week. and Brian's being nice to me. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they see you're being like that with everybody, they're like, wow, that's their demeanor. I love that. And it really is good to be like that. I mean, I've had to call some people out when they have treated me crappy and say, you know what? You could treat me crappy, but I'm going to still love you and I'm still going to be kind to you. And, it really makes other people look at themselves like, why are they happy?
Mm-hmm.
And like they say, give them something to talk about, and giving them something to talk about. Yep. And it's true. Give them something to talk about and think. They go, why are they happy? I'm pissed off at them. Well, that was yesterday. That was last week. I'm sorry you're still living in the past. I'm in the now. And that's it. And it really is a great feeling to be in the now.
Well, and I think that when you reached a level that you're just in a space of making love secondary, right? You're always creating, nothing is ever the same. It's kind of like, well, where did that come from? Oh, I just thought about it. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a creative zone, you're going to think of stuff that might have, it's just going to come out of the blue. The chemical balance is there. It's the right time. It's the right motivation. It's something triggers and it's just magic, right? Those are the best moments because you can't explain it. And when you can get the love you have for other people, and like what we talked about from Monday, people you don't even know, people you've never ran into before. It could be at an airport. It could be sitting next to you on a plane flight, right? Is that if you have some more tools or if you have a bigger bag of opportunities that you can offer, there he is. Love you guys. Love you too, Scott. And
hi, Scott.
Look at Lynn getting all
yeah,
all in her zone of
that's right, because I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I love everybody, but I love that guy for sure.
You should have just seen that. It was like a high school moment where she got asked out the prom or something. That's what it looked like.
Oh my gosh.
So what I'm trying to say is that hone this skill, work at it, get yourself in a mind that there is something you can always do to show love and give love to other people. Because what I can tell you is that what's showing up for me is that when it doesn't become something you think about anymore, it's just something you do, your life will get better.
Well, I'm going to give you a compliment right now, Brian. I have put you on the spot many times, and I love how you come. Like with Bubba Bradley, I said, hey, Christopher Rausch, I said, hey, I'm going to bring him a show. Like, you have been in those moments with me instead of being like, oh, this is awkward and this is my mojo. You have really just loved flying with me. Like you wing everything I throw at you. And I love you for that. But I'm just saying, I love that how like you really have like having Ron on. I'm like, Brian, this is going to be great. And we have had some really good experiences because you've trusted me. And I love that with you, that you just trust me enough to say, can we just do this? And you're like, yeah, Lynn, let's do it. And that's what I love. I mean, you're willing to be open and receptive to that and and create with me. And I love that we have that's why we said we wanted this to be raw and real, because we throw shit at ourselves to we throw things at ourselves just to put us on the spot. And like I said, we've done that several times. We've had people impromptu being on our show and it's been great. Now, let's say you weren't open-minded to that. That could have been major ugly friction on the show, because you would have been like, that's not what I planned for today. Right. And that's what I mean. It's like when you can have that freely love and reciprocate and be able to know that you're going to take the lead times. I'll take the leads. I mean, like we just know how to flow like that. And I hope that that's what people see. Right. The chemistry with us, is that we're so different, but yet we're all like, you know what? This is for show factor. This is just being raw and real. And we just love how it just flows like that.
Well, to me, that's one of the definitions of creativity.
Absolutely.
Is that there is no rules or laws.
Yeah.
I mean, society and our programming has been put on us that we really have to take a stand. Is that my identity? Is that how I view this? Right? I mean, there has been. He may not be as receptive to your cousin.
Oh, no. Actually, I'm gonna have to put Brian on I'm going to have to set Brian straight because he's going to fall in love with you. And I'm going to tell him he's my man. Leave him alone. No, just kidding.
Scott, you don't know me very well if you think I'm going to be rattled.
Because he loves, you know what? Would you not say everyone that I say I love, you have equally fallen in love? You love them just as much.
Tracy,
Yes, exactly. What I'm saying is, so Scott, like I said, I'm just going to keep him in place and say, hey, he's my man. Leave him alone.
I mean, like your sister, man, I don't want to piss her off. I mean,
no, you already know that. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Helen, just stopping by to say hello. Everyone at the carpet cleaners are here, and have to keep my puppy away from that. Understood. Thanks for checking in, Helen.
Thanks, Helen.
No, I mean, it's we're just creating a community. Everybody has their quirks. Everybody's a little bit different. They tune in when they can.
Yeah,
it's fully understand. We fully understand.
We love it.
But everybody's accepted as they are. There's no changing going on. There's no judgments. It's just wide open. And when that can become second nature, you have something special.
Absolutely. Like Christopher Rausch, not to step on his toes, but he'll say he's misfits for life. I love Christopher. He's just like the best. So
I just love how he's able to maintain, the dark with the other color. You know what I mean? Like that's he's not always easy to do.
But again, we are who we are, and yet that's what makes us awesome. Every one of us is individually crafted and made, and just sharing your light is really important because your light helps somebody else's get brighter. Yep. And we need to rely on that. We need to rely on knowing that we don't have to be alone. We don't have to be alone. And I can't wait for Scott to come on tomorrow because he helps people with addictions, and he has a training center, and he's just an amazing guy, and he's taken things from his life and made so many people's lives a lot better.
That's great.
And I love him for a lot of reasons. I mean, he can admit all his faults and yet move on and do something else, and that's what we should do.
When you find like-minded people, you can bring anybody in and know that it's cool. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's what we love.
There again, Tracy, is that like-minded? I mean, there might be some kind of random or invisible point of entry, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But then you're not like, wow, that you remove all of your guard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's like when you allow somebody to show up, you're being vulnerable. I get it, but you're also like, maybe there's something that they're offering here that can help me, instead of trying to defend everything. Well,
right.
I would say to that is that you're not even open because this is so full, or your heart is guarded up and you're not willing to let anything come in.
Well, when you got to realize when something seems closed like that to you, keep asking yourselves the questions, why?
Yep.
Why? And realize that it's the matter of perception that you have for that whatever situation it is, and realize that you should keep asking your questions until you open that door and realize, okay, now I'm being open-minded. Now I'm willing to see it from that other side. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, when you judge that you think you know somebody from like 10, 15 years ago, you don't realize everything they've been through, and that maybe they learned their lessons from there to now. Mm-hmm. You're judging that you don't think they learned anything. Correct. And so who are you to judge something until you know for certain? Because we don't, even though we know each other's, you don't know everybody part of their life. You don't know everything there is that makes them tick.
Well, and we all, whether we ask for it or not, we're all, we all need help.
Absolutely.
And so one of the best things is when somebody you can see somebody that's being vulnerable and they're being transparent.
You don't knock them down.
Number one, you don't knock them down. But I mean, when that is not even like, that's a foundational element amongst the people in the like-minded group, they don't even think that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not like a peak, like ripples.
Right.
And the deeper the ripples or the waves would be is that, some people that might have a tendency to make others wrong versus like, okay, this like-minded group of people wouldn't dare go there because they're not wired that way.
Right.
It's kind of like when people are happy. It's not an act. It's who they are. They're just naturally that way. Their DNA works that way. And so I just think it's like the like-mindedness comes in when you can give somebody something like, hey, here are a few thoughts to ponder, or have you considered these things? They're not taking it as a defensive thing, that you're trying to help. They see what you're trying to do, but it's not shoving it down their throat.
Right.
But when somebody's not open to that, it's like, which one do you want? Do you want me to be your cheerleader, or do you want something that could move the needle? Because you can't have one without the other.
Right. And that's one thing. I was talking to Tracy, because I try to coach Tracy and a bunch of other people and stuff. And it's like, I get so passionate about coaching and helping people in situations and things that I'm like, I'm going to have to be like Chris Roush in The Filter of like, there's no nonsense. Like I'm so passionate about it that I try to do everything I can to shake your ass up and get you to see it from a different way. That, if you don't understand that I'm coming from love, you'll think like like I said, I only half-assed gave you the information the other day about this person. And you're like, boy, I'd be mad. And I'm glad you said that to me, because I would definitely need to have somebody that's going to be coached by me say, look, you might want to get mad at what I'm telling you, but I'm doing this. I'm doing this to shake you up and to figure out what's making you tick and making you look at it a different way. And I'm being passionate about. And so everybody I do coach understands that. And I'm always saying, Brian, you might not like what I'm going to say, but I got to say that. And they're like, no, Lynn, I want to hear it. But, it's hard to hear sometimes, but it's what they need to hear. And what I love is basically when I'm coaching people, it's basically I'm confirming what they already knew and know, but they were concerned. And I mean, I will bring it up before they do. And that's the greatest part. They're like, but I was thinking that, and I know that. And I'm like, exactly. That's all I'm doing. I'm telling you I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to confirm that I think this is what you should do. And they already knew that. And they're like, how'd you know that? I'm like, well, that's what I do.
And I think it kind of goes into the whole mindset of less, right? Where it's like, I'm not going to add anything to this conversation that you don't already know.
Right.
I'm just going to expose you to something that's already there, but you're not bringing
hesitant
to the surface.
Yeah, you're hesitant to actually act on it.
Let's simplify this with less versus add something more to it, and then you can't see it.
Right. Because as a coach, all you're supposed to do is make them think of their own thoughts. It's supposed to be of their thought, not of something you're trying to teach them that they don't have within themselves already.
I mean, there was an article I read last night when I was tuning it down for the night a little bit, and it was all about where this guy, and he's an engineer, and I think he became a professor. The book is called Subtract. And when his son was 3 years old, he liked to play Legos. And so it was a bridge that they created out of Legos, like just like two towers and then a cross. And it's like, to make it more sustainable, most people would add something to it to make it more stable. Well, his son took it away. So it's like, then he brought that thought process that whenever you're looking at something, most people will add something to it than to take something away, And so that was huge for me, because how many times when we're stuck in life that we got to figure it out and we got to do it now, and we're upset at ourselves for not doing it earlier. What about if we remove something from it versus like, if we look at it a little bit more intense, that we're going to find anything new?
Yeah. Peeling the onion back.
Correct. And so like removing something away, like, what am I not seeing in this circumstance?
Yeah.
And a coach has an ability to do that, where they can get you to see something by removing something away. What's missing in this circumstance? A thought, an idea, an action, all of it.
I have several of my people I coach that say, Lynn, you're like a detective. You're always asking me a certain question. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I got to make you think. It's just like, okay, I lost my keys, Lynn. Okay, let's retract. Were you in the garbage? Were you taking out the garbage? Were you whatever? And it's like, how do you know to ask this? Well, we got to investigate. We got to investigate why you think you don't know that you did that. Because people always put fault to somebody else, not themselves. They don't want to take ownership for their shit, because I know about shame. I mean, I carried shame for a long ass time. So, it really is just asking the right questions and knowing that they've got to see the answer for themselves.
Well, and let's look at it this way: is that with what was the root of the problem? Okay. Are we dealing with more things or less things at any given time in life? Right?
Yeah.
We're just stacking it on top of stuff upon stuff, and we have to function in that environment every day. Right?
Yeah.
And that's just in our mind. That's not for people, family, friends, husband, wife, kids that are depending on us. Right?
Yeah.
But consider that the more things you add, that's what's causing the position you're in.
Yeah.
Versus if kind of like, I'll give you another example. Somebody that gets a speeding ticket, right? Now, let's set aside that they're late or whatever. Well, I'm upset I got a speeding ticket. Well, okay. How about doing less, right? How about leaving earlier? How about driving at a normal speed so you don't get a ticket and you're a few minutes behind, right? So doing less, but the less is not necessarily an action. It's more of a mindset. That if I do less, I leave a little earlier. My car's gassed up the day before, so I don't have to rush.
Yeah.
So I know that this is not about, but those blind spots, those pieces of less where it's like, no wonder why today looks a little rattled, because I didn't prepare for it the night before.
Right.
I didn't take out the less card where it's like, if I did less, I would actually do more.
Charles calls me Lynn Columbo, and that's what it really comes down to. Is I always bring things back to, when did you fall in love with that person? Yep. What did you love about them? And bring you back to that spirit of, I love when people canter and tell me their stories of those moments and say, okay, so can we pick up from there and let the shit go? It's pretty really what it comes down to. And sometimes we don't have that second chance in life to do that with anyone. But when you realize what a blessing it is to do that and take it from that moment and see what doors open, then at least you have a calibrated to a now event, so that you can see if you still have a connection that's worth salvaging or being a part of or anything like that. And it's so simplifying love and just, creating whatever possibilities of love and friendship. It really is a great thing. And I got a lot out of today as far as the, freely knowing that if we just start loving everybody and, not segregating it for specific people, but for everyone. One, at the end of the day, you can feel good about it. And two, you can give them something to think about, because they're like, what the hell? They're not. See, when you realize you're in the right mind of love and peace and happiness within yourself, then you can be more calm. You can have a better life, and you're not sweating the small stuff. So
my final thoughts for today, because I know we got to go in a couple minutes. This has been a very impactful session this week. Just one more thing. Is if you feel it, do it.
I love it.
If it's on your mind, do it. Right? Yeah. Until you actually do it, it's not complete. Right? Don't weaken your own feelings. Because if something is gravitating towards you, make that phone call, do that thing, right? Order that coffee for that person, send them a gift card, whatever it might be, right? Don't hesitate. Yeah. Your heart is telling you something right now, and the only difference is if you respond to it or just let it go away. Because that will affect you through the course of time if you don't listen to your own heart, your gut, your instincts. And it'll put a ripple in who you are. And you might never find the reason why.
Yeah.
Because a motor, like if we consider ourselves a motor, our mind, our heart, and all of that, it's not meant to go stop and go. It's meant to go, all the time.
Smooth.
Yeah. And so those ripples or that stop and go driving is when you're questioning what you should do versus just doing it. But here's the thing, if it's coming out of a place of love, right? Whatever your definition of love is for the different types of love, do it.
Yeah.
Get out of your head right away that oh my God, what's that person going to think? And you're in your head too much. If you can be honest with your heart that you did it for the right reasons, that's all that should matter.
Absolutely. I love this
or as
one.
the captain of Tanu would say, that to me.
I can never get enough. That's part of the words, Brian. That's what I was saying. Okay.
Oh,
anyways.
Charles is the music man on our show. Hey, yes. By the way, Charles, just a reminder, because we got to go here in a few minutes or a minute or two, is if you have a list of your favorite love songs, I know I mentioned it a couple days ago, But if you have that list that you've been putting together, and if you want to share that with everybody tomorrow, so as we move into the weekend, anybody that wants to reminisce about great love songs, we'll leave it up to our show's musicologist to share that tomorrow.
Musicologist, I love it.
Yes.
I
so
love
Charles, if you're up for that, just let us know.
I'm gonna have to make a little brand for him at the end. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I just got an idea.
Our show's musicologist, Mr. Charles Coachman.
Yeah. You guys, today has been awesome, like every day. Yeah, tomorrow is kind of a special day to me. Maybe because I got this guy coming along. Shut up.
Aww.
Hey, shut up. Stop. Anyways, you guys.
That just came out of nowhere. See, I'm creating.
Brian likes this too much. Here, I'm going to play this real quick because I love this so much.
Got a great show I've been watching. Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian. They do it during the week, and it's really good. Real and Raw. Yeah, I know. It sounds kind of like... but they keep it clean most of the time.
What does really
most
mean?
Of the time.
Oh my God.
All right, Lynn. Okay, before we sign off, we got to practice one more time. Okay? Okay, so here we go. You go first. 3, 2, 1.
Haha.
All right. I think we need more work than we think. I'll go next.
Oh my God.
That was a little bit too much.
All right, you guys, we gotta go.
See you tomorrow. We'll be with our special guest, Scott Jones, tomorrow, Mr. Liplock.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys. Bye.